Good evening, everyone. Today's May 14, 2024, and it's 6:33 p.m. My name is Jenny Rivera, and I chair the Holyoke City Council Public Safety Committee. Before we begin our agenda, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the members of the committee. We have Councilor Patty Devine to my left and Councilor Israel Rivera to my right. Additionally, we have Councilor Carmen Ocasio joining us here as well. Welcome, everyone. Today's meeting is being held in chambers on Zoom. It is being broadcasted live on Public Access Channel. We are being recorded by Zoom. We are being streamed, and we are in person. The purpose of today's meeting is to discuss and address various matters related to public safety within our community. With that being said, let's officially commence our Public Safety Committee meeting. I'll entertain a motion to take item 1 off the table.
So moved.
Second.
So moved and seconded. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Motion to take up item number 2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item 2, the writer of this was previous Councilor Maldonado Velez, ordered that the city, I would like to introduce, we have Timothy Rivers from the Board of Health also online with us this evening. I believe that's it.
Yeah, I think so.
And order that the city create a certificate of occupancy program that works to inspect rental units in order to acquire the certificate. Certification is based on passing state safety and sanitation codes on a regular basis, not more than 3-year cycles, less for continuously problematic properties, for properties within 3 or more units. Sent to Public Safety.
Okay. I have a,
Councilor Devine?
yeah, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but recently the building department has put out letters to 2, 3, 4 family homes and blocks to follow the state law because they haven't done that in about 30 years. So some people have notified me that they received them. And so this sort of goes along with Councilor Maldonado Velez's order. It's just in a different way. So I'm not sure what you'd like to do with it. But right now, they're working on it with, like I said, owners of 2, 3, 4 family homes, that there's a state law that says every 5 years you have to get a certificate of compliance, whether you need certain egresses from your, say it's a 3-family. Do you need, one person said they actually needed a window from the 3rd floor because it wasn't as big as it should have been. They have to get architects, they have to get engineers, electricians in there. It's really kind of a surprise, I'd say, to some people, but it's got to be done, and that's what they're doing right now. So I don't know if you want to, what you would like to do with this, but there is something going on right now. I just don't know if anybody's heard of that.
Councilor Rivera?
I think, thank you for that, Councilor Devine. I think some of the intention behind this was more or less to help create or develop some form of system that has checks and balances to make sure that it doesn't go another 30 years that this that we have to go through this process all over again. Ideally, it would be some sort of plan laid out where that incorporates some of the mechanisms that have been put in the place right now. But I think having a plan that has outlined outcomes with regards to certain strategic goals within that plan would make more sense. But I see that Timothy Rivers from Public Health is here, or is it Board of Health or Building Department?
Board of Health, yeah.
Right, Board of Health. So I would entertain the motion or allow him to speak just to see if he has anything to say with regards to what they're doing now currently too as well, to add to what Councilor Devine has kind of mentioned.
Mr. Rivers?
I do. I think the idea of inspections are a great idea. As far as the personnel requirement of every 3 years, the state sanitary code is a little more, I would say, picky than the building code. The building code is structural, where if we were to go into every unit, it would require a significant amount more of personnel. On the sanitary code, as much as I like the idea, I understand that there are some other avenues that maybe we can address some of those issues. I know that the mayor was looking into creating a community response department. That could be something that if we had those people in place that might be able to check out a unit beforehand, that way we weren't expanding on our health department, or we would have to, for personnel reasons, to do that. Just because if we have housing complaints, a lot of times those are roughly like 3 to 5 inspections before the violations are resolved. That also requires the amount of time of going, speaking with the tenant and the property owner, and sometimes if violations aren't resolved, the court cases, that can be a significant amount of time. So as far as the building department doing those inspections, I think is great. As far as the Board of Health getting involved in them, I just believe it would be a significant, we would need a significant amount of personnel to achieve a 3-year, and particularly the ones that are problematic, because if you have a 16, let's say you have a 16 unit building, and 8 of those units have some sort of violation, then that would require us going back and re-inspecting, and if it's not done, and the back and forth between access issues and the property owner, I feel that it would be a significant amount of time. Could it be done? Yes, but you would need the proper personnel for it.
Thank you. So, I guess for me, that answers a lot of the questions with regards to capacity and what could feasibly be done around some of this at the moment. But we could, I mean, I think Councilor Ocasio had something to say, but I don't mind entertaining a motion for leave to withdraw with the understanding that there is going to be some sort of plan later on down the road that outlines how we're going to try to mitigate some of the issues around sanitary codes and renters that continue to arise. I have families that reach out to me on a regular basis around this particular issue, and when you kind of look at the mechanisms that are in place, none of them are really in place to protect the actual renter. So I think that was some of the merit here around this. This may be a little more complex and needs to be flushed out a little more, and maybe in collaboration with the community responder model stuff that they're talking about. But yeah, I'll for now I'll leave it at that so that Councilor Ocasio could weigh in too as well. Thank you.
Councilor Ocasio?
I think it's a question for Councilor Devine. Do you have like the letter that from the homeowners that they have received? Exactly what does the letter say? Is it the first notice? Do they have to fix the stuff right away, or?
I will tell you that it's several pages long, and I did meet I think your best bet. I have the information, and I can email it to you, email it to anybody who wants it. And one of the reasons they're able to do this, even though it's been 30-something years that this hasn't been done, is the building department actually has enough employees to go out and do these. The part of it, and it's a state law, which is really too bad, but you have to follow it. people have to hire an architect, they have to hire a electrician. Everything has to be up to code, and again, the people that I've talked to, they've been owners for a long time, they're professional people, and they're kind of like surprised at all they're gonna have to do. One of the things is to get an exit sign that's lit, like when you go out of a building and it says exit, they're gonna have to do that for their 3-family. So I will make a note, maybe Jeffrey, I can send it to him and then he can send it out. There's 4 different, 4 different pieces of paper, what they need, what they're gonna need, and they're doing it throughout the whole city. And again, I don't like the timing of it, but it's not against the law, and they should have did it a long time ago. Okay, so Jeffrey, I'll email that to you, and if you could email that to the city councilors.
Yeah, sorry, absolutely.
All right, thank you very much.
That's all. Thank you,
good.
Patty.
Thank you, Councilor Ocasio. So if we could get,
I'll entertain a motion for leave to withdraw for now.
Second,
all those in favor?
aye.
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 Any opposed? So moved. I would also like to state that Councilor Megan McGrath-Smith has joined us, as well as Attorney Mike Bissonette.
I make a motion to take up item number 3.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item number 3, also by previous Councilor Maldonado Velez, order to create a rental registration requiring all rental units, including short-term rentals, register with the city. This can be housed in the Board of Health or Building Department.
Is he still there? I don't
He's-
see him. A couple of questions that I had. This isn't a bad order, but I'm just wondering how you find where these rental units are when we have Airbnbs and hotels do, rentals for maybe a month. So, because they have apartments now and things like that. So I'm not sure how we can find out where all the rental units are. I think the order is well intended, but I don't know that it's really a thing that can be done.
Councilor Rivera?
They're actually doing this in other communities, in neighboring communities. To be honest, I think the piece, there's a difference between a rental property for someone to live in and a rental property for Airbnbs, which are just I mean, we're still working on wording for that for our own ordinances. That's a whole different concept. And I think the way the rental registry works is landlords would have to register themselves. And periodically update the registry, letting people know what apartments are open, what apartments are available, what's out there. Ideally, I think that's the concept behind some of this. So that way, it makes it easier for people that are being released to the community or that are coming back to this community or coming new to this community. A lot of people come to City Hall. That's one of the first places they come. And having a list like that at hand kind of helps mitigate a lot of questions and helps direct people in a flow where it kind of releases a lot of the stress on some of the departments here to answer some of these questions. Now, capacity wise, do we have to do that right now? That's a different question. Where are we with stuff like that? That would be a question for Mr. Rivers and maybe the mayor's office. I know that there is some funding around the opioid stuff that happened that we're getting. We got several dollars coming through, and maybe in that community responder department that they're trying to grow out, something like this can sit in. I think it would make more sense, but I wouldn't mind listening to Mr. Rivers to see what has been cooking possibly over there.
So I do agree with you with the capacity and possibly if that comes to fruition, having that office out of the mayor's office. I think the idea of rental registration is an excellent idea. I think for the reasons of having a maintenance plan on file. We have a lot of overflowing dumpsters. It would eventually, and not at first, but eventually create some of the, take some of the workload off of the complaints that we receive when a dumpster overflows and a landlord isn't fulfilling their obligations. At least having a maintenance plan on file and holding them accountable to that maintenance plan. Also, I think a great idea with that rental registration would be to have secondary contacts. I've had times where tenants didn't have water and the landlord was out of the country and it became very difficult. We eventually get a hold of them, but there should be some sort of secondary contact if you're in charge of the living space of, families. Also, I think with that rental registration, you could have pest control reports that are automatically sent, and that might alleviate some of the pests that, where instead of us going into one unit and saying you have to treat and this and that, if you had a consistent part of the registry would be if you have this many units, you have to do it quarterly. And if you have complaints, then, just piggybacking on just all the state sanitary code issues, you could actually utilize this registry to make it the violations, make them not have violations, will be proactive rather than reactive. And I think that would be, great. And additionally, there also possibly you could add to that an emergency condemnation plan on file. I've had situations where sewage was backing up into units and I had to get a hold of the landlord. And like I said, with the secondary contacts, what if I can't get a hold of the landlord? What happens next? So that would be great to have that in place, and then you would have more streamlined protocols for some of these bigger issues that affect health and safety for the residents.
Thank you for that. So what I'm hearing is that a lot of this would kind of help is just capacity wise where we're at
Yes.
right now, and maybe trying to figure out what would be next steps. I would be comfortable in possibly tabling this until some more information comes down further down the road, and just maybe bring it back when the mayor's office does have that conversation around the community responder stuff, because I'm believing that should be coming down the road soon. Could you elaborate on that, Mr. Rivers, or no? Do you know?
Just in talks, I don't have any timeframes or any concrete plan as far as when that would be coming. I just know it's being worked on.
I mean, all right. I thank you. I'm at the will of the body, whatever anybody wants to do. But I think for me, it would make sense to table it, just to not have to go through the whole process of refiling it. But if we need to refile it, we could do that too. No issue to me.
Okay. So, yeah, I remember speaking with Councilor Maldonado Velez on this because in my ward was one of the wards where the water was turned off here on High Street. We cannot find the landlord. Then we had another issue in Ward 2, even though that landlord did come all the way from New York. But the fact that we have so many absent landlords here in Holyoke, we did speak about this. So, and I do remember, and I can't remember exactly who I spoke to, but I did bring it up on one phone call that I made, and the staff member from the city hall agreed. They're like, yeah, it would be as simple as logging in the landlord's name and putting in their phone number. She agreed when she spoke to me. She's like, I think this would help out so much in the city with the issues we have with all the absent landlords. But if you, Patty Devine, anything you
No,
want to add?
whatever your pleasure is fine with me.
Okay, I would agree with Councilor Rivera if we can table that.
Motion to table item 2 or 3. So he said,
Yes,
All those in favor?
aye.
aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Motion to take up item number 4.
Second.
Okay, before we take it up, I would also like to state that Councilor Gifner has also joined us. And item 4, also by Councilor Maldonado Velez, previous Councilor Maldonado Velez, ordered that the city create a public accessible landlord registry database. Information includes but not limited to who owns the property, who is responsible for maintenance, how many code violations the property has received through the city, and how many no-cause evictions the landlords filled on residents. So I would say this one kind of goes with item 3.
Yep.
So should we table this as well, unless anybody has?
If I may, through the chair, I'm okay with leave to withdraw because it sounds very similar to the other one. But if you want to couple them together and table them both, it would be the same. I don't know. I'm up to whatever you guys would think is.
I'm just wondering because some of the stuff includes how many code violations and stuff. So I'm wondering if we combine 3 and 4 and give it to the health department, that would start the ball rolling with, whatever's in 3 can be included in 4.
I second that then,
Okay.
if that's the motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Just clarify the motion real quick for Jeff, just in case on notes. My motion is to couple item 3 and 4 together and table them.
Second?
Then
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Do we wait for Jeff to know? No? Okay.
Make a motion to take up item number 5.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item number 5 by Councilor Givner. Ordered with community support, Sylvia Lane residents have expressed health and safety concerns regarding the encampment behind McNally Park and their cul-de-sac. There are several houseless people living in this area. There is an abundance of trash and other concerning happenings, although not as noticeable when trees have full foliage. The fall and the winter expose to serious quality of life issues visible for both the household and unhoused. This must be addressed. And since we do have Councilor Givner, and she is the maker of this order, I would give you the floor.
Hi, thank you, Madam Chair. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah?
Yes.
So I didn't know, I mean, I knew there was an encampment behind that neighborhood, but I got a lot of feedback from residents when I was knocking on doors and such. So I thought I was asked specifically to file an order that the Board of Health look more into this. I know that we have a lot of efforts to curb this and provide services to those in need, especially in these encampments. So I guess I was looking for maybe at this point an update since that order was filed last year.
Councilor Rivera?
I think I just wanted to clarify McNulty Park over McNally Park, because McNally's in the flats and McNulty is over there by Stop
so
and Shop.
McNulty is exactly by
Right.
Lincoln Street.
Right across from Stop and Shop, right? Just in case. I think a lot of what Councilor Givner said, a lot of work has kind of gone into some of this already, and I would be willing to hear from Mr. Rivers, the Board of Health.
So this encampment in particular, I talked with Officer Sustash, and he said that was, they did some cleanup efforts around there back in the fall. I did revisit that area. I did see 2 tents at the time. And this goes into the item 6 as well, is since I've taken over this position, I've been in many meetings now with CHD trying to find a protocol that and it's been significantly difficult as far as the homeless, our efforts go, because it's a layered public health crisis. There's substance abuse, there's mental health that these people need, and this isn't as easy as just cleaning up people's belongings. These are human beings, and we need to address the situation very with that in mind. So we have been working with community development and those community partners. This particular encampment on this item was cleaned up, but we have a lot of work to do across multiple departments and agencies to try to mitigate some of the poor health outcomes for this community. And that's where we are right now is, and I'm going to talk a little bit more unless you want me to just go in on some of the things. We had a point in time count. We have 6 less homeless individuals than Springfield, which is significant. This is working with Alicia. This will give her a better grasp on the 5-year plan that she plans on coming up with. We're trying to connect with those individuals on those different services available to them. From my understanding, I've been doing this a few months, and the gaps lie in the connecting the resources to that community. Right now, we're kind of trying to Alicia and I are the ones that are moving forward with the community health partners, but at the same time is like to have somebody who's like really in the system and embedded into the system would and who could facilitate better connecting these individuals with the proper services that they need. They have to be assessed, like, do they need mental health? Do they need substance abuse? And then we have to have those services available to them, and how do we connect them with those services? This is another area that I feel there is a homeless liaison. I know we're trying to look into having that person that could make those important meetings and connect with what services are available and try to alleviate some of the issues that we have here in Holyoke, because obviously with that significant number compared to a much larger city, we definitely need services, and we have to collaborate between multiple agencies and departments. That's where we are right now is meeting with those community partners, trying to get plans in place. One of the things is reaching out to CHD is when I get a complaint about an encampment, I've been reaching out to them first, and they are doing the triage in the area. They let me know if an encampment is vacant, and then we can contact the property owner. There's also additional meetings that we've had with the rail division, because a lot of these encampments are along the rail division where we don't have the jurisdiction to just go in and clean up their property. We have to work with them. So I just recently had a meeting with them. They were going to collaborate with the city, but they have to go out to bid on those contracts. So we have everything in motion on these items. We're just, we lack that connection to the services for the people. And we want to, as the health department, we want to facilitate these resources the best we can and connect them, not just move them along or clean their stuff. We want to, do this. We want to do this with the human element and keep and make sure they have the best health outcomes that we can do as a city.
So Mr. Rivers, I want to say thank you for that breakdown, but I believe there's probably going to be a lot more questions after that now. I think one of the questions for me is the plan that's being developed. It would be kind of, I think for us, in the past, when I chaired public safety, I filed, and I know you're new in the role, not to the city, but we filed a variety of orders around the development of a plan or trying to put something together around this, and it would be awesome for us to be incorporated within the process or understand what's happening throughout the process, so that we're not filing orders that are kind of being worked on in the process, right? So like the more within the loop or educated we are within this process, would make more sense, especially around the homelessness issues. I would say not only you guys get calls and all that, we do too, as well as city councilors. And I think that I think one of my questions is the people on the office on Ray Street, how much are they doing, right, with regards to some of this? Because technically that's part of the role that they're servicing there, right? And then how much is the city working with at Case and the hub, right? Because the hub is also providing a network of a variety of different service providers that are coming together to kind of mitigate some of these crises that we're having in the community. It's not necessarily having to build something out new, but taking advantage of some of the resources that have already come together. And I have to say that at Case has kind of developed a pretty strong cohort in what they're doing there. Just kind of wanted to mention that, but there's other people that want to chime in. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilor Rivera. So we'll have Councilor Givner, then we'll have Councilor Ocasio, and then Councilor Devine. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just had a follow-up question. The residents in the McNulty that are affected by the McNulty encampments specifically asked if we are thinking of putting up fencing so that people can't physically get down to the woods and the train track through there. And I thought that was it's a good question, you know? I mean, if we want to keep people out, are we actually securing areas in any way so that you can only reach these areas by like trails and, you know, things like that, instead of making it so easy to just walk down through the trees right at the park?
And that was also something that in the meeting with the rail division, they had discussed. And that would have to be something, I just recently, I was talking to the mayor about how I had that discussion, but we would need more city departments involved as far as like fencing, and then they also asked about like police detail, and that obviously I don't have any say in that. So that I would just discuss that with him today about how we have to get together with those, with the rail division and those departments.
All right, thank you. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilor Ocasio?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that we need more than, not just homeless people that are in tents only. We have a lot of people inside buildings, okay? And they're causing a big problem to residents and endangering a lot of people. The other day, actually on Mother's Day, I came across on Cabot Street, and when I looked, there was a gentleman. I know he was homeless and probably have, mental issues. He was literally burning ants from the tree, trying to burn ants out of the tree. So he was, making a big hole within the tree and lighting it up. So I called the cops, and they couldn't arrest him because he took off, and that tree is really close to the white building, the elderly building, which is a big danger if that tree would have caught on fire. So it's not the first incident that I encountered where some of the homeless are, catching things on fire. So it's not just, they don't have nowhere to stay. They also having issues, which they put in everybody's safety in jeopardy. So besides all these agencies doing their work, in the office and stuff, I mean, who's out there, like literally out there, talking to the homeless, trying to gather them up, find out what they really want, how they, because I talk to a lot of homeless, and me personally, I think the city of Holyoke is not really doing enough to attack this matter. It's just getting worse and worse, and we're getting more and more homeless. And my main concern is them being in the buildings, catching things on fire and stuff like that, because it's not going to be, to evacuate an elderly building is going to be crazy, so I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ocasio. Councilor Devine?
Yeah, Jesus Pereira, who used to be our Veteran Service department head, unfortunately, he has moved to Illinois, I think. But what he would do when he would see somebody holding a sign that said, I'm a Marine or I'm a veteran, he would go up to them and get the information from them to make sure that they were indeed a veteran. So I'm not sure if you're doing that or who would be in charge of that through the War Memorial, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Any other discussions? So should we table this for months from now, or?
Maybe we could table it and come back to it in, what would you suggest, Timothy? How long would you need to review this and then get back to us?
I think we could revisit it in 2 months and see where we stand with the other departments and what's progressing with the rail division. At the time, they said it would be a month for that cleanup, and then also just to see where things are going with the mayor's office on trying to get that liaison available. Also, our meetings with Alicia and CHD, and then also reaching out to Ed Case and seeing what he, some of the different programs that he has available. That would be helpful. So if we want to revisit it, maybe 2 months from now, would that?
In 2 months, we'll all be on vacation.
Oh, we'll be on vacation. That's true.
Not necessarily
All right, well,
like a
I
physical
didn't
vacation,
want an
but
update
city
in a
council's
month
on
or
break.
so.
But I think we could probably, it's up to, through the chair, entertain maybe when we come back from our break, which would be like August, September, which gives them more time to do some of the work.
Okay, we could do it August.
Yeah, we have a meeting in August. The second week, is it? The second Tuesday in, or it's up to you, public safety.
Let me get the calendar. So should we table it to August 14th?
That's fine.
Okay.
Then can I entertain a motion to take up item 6 as a package with this one, if it's okay with
Second.
Councilor Ocasio, because this one is filed by her and Councilor Jordan, and it's kind of very similar. The only thing I would also ask is for that day to make sure that the people on Ray Street come in from the police department, so that they can also elaborate on what they're doing. Councilor Ocasio asked a great question with regards to what is being done and who's going out there talking and asking questions. And technically, that's the role of the people we have, or the department that we have working out of Ray Street. is for them to go out into the community and engage and mostly mitigate some of the mental health issues and some of the substance abuse issues. They don't really target homelessness, but it's incorporated within that piece. So I think it would make sense to try to, and I think we've given them ample time, to August 14th, to get them to come in too as well, because item 6, they actually asked for them to come in for tonight, and I don't see anyone here from there present right now at the moment. So it kind of makes sense to do that if that's okay with you.
Yes, that's okay. Yep.
Patty, I heard a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Take up item number 7. Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved. Item 7, this was ordered by the previous Councilor Puello, ordered that the Board of Health and Health Commission please be invited to attend to discuss if changes are possible to the changes to the tobacco license issuance policy that supports common sense economic growth on a case-by-case basis and also protects public health, that they also please discuss syringes access and whether common sense changes can be made.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to give this leave to withdraw for the simple reason that this former counselor, for lack of a better term, is in the wind. He's escaped the law. I don't think we should give him any credence, and he's not here, obviously, to talk about this order. So that would be my motion, to give it leave to withdraw. And if somebody would like to refile it under their name, that's different. But as far as former Counselor Puello, I have no use for doing anything that he's filed. That would be my motion.
Councilor Rivera?
I will second, but before I second the motion, or second and under discussion, right? I think for me, in reading the first part of the order, that the Board of Health and Health Commission please be invited to attend, and I'm just reading the order and the content that's in the order. Like, that's the only part that I'm at, right? Order that the Board of Health Commission please be invited to attend to discuss its changes if possible, the tobacco license issuance policy. I kind of agree with that. I'll refile it though.
Okay.
That piece. The second piece, it's not that I don't disagree or agree, but that's not a battle that I want to fight. But I do agree with like having that conversation with the Board of Health and the Board of Health Commission and the Board of Health around the tobacco cap, the cap on tobacco licensure, and kind of like trying to unpack the theories and ideologies behind that in a space where the public is present. But yeah, I second the item.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Motion to take up item number 8.
Second.
All those in favor?
Oh,
Aye. Aye.
aye.
Aye. Oh, man, I was getting a highlighter.
Any opposed? So moved. Item number 8 was filed by Councilor Rivera. Order that the City Laws Department, along with Public Health, come in and elaborate on the status of the property in the corner of Lyman and North Summer Street. I'll have Councilor Rivera.
So thank you, Councilor Jenny Rivera. And I'm sorry I didn't attach you to this because this is your ward, actually. But that's good. This is the corner right across the street from Tefford Apartments. Right there, it's kind of like overgrown grass right now. That's probably like maybe 3 feet high, like maybe a block away from DPW. So I think for me, it's trying to figure out, and I've been kind of fighting this battle since before I was a city councilor, calling the Board of Health and trying to figure out who, I know, and I understand that whoever owns the property may have passed away, and that we're literally probably in court trying to take this land. It's not big enough to build on, but ultimately, ultimately the grass is high. There's a weed that's been growing so long that it's a tree now, and it fell down and is blocking the sidewalk. No one has come to remove anything, and no one has done anything. So I guess for me, I know this is on the radar, but it's what are we doing to kind of like mitigate the maintenance of this? And I see we got Tim with us and Attorney Bissonette. Whichever one wants to go first, I'm aching to whichever. I'm cool with it.
So as far as this property goes, I just signed a waiver on 430 for a tax lien for the city to move forward in land court. That's so it clears the title. Unless there's unforeseen circumstances, it should be in our hands soon. Like I said, there's always the chance that something could come out of nowhere, but that's where we're at. As far as the cleanup on that, I can have a contractor go there and clean up that area. I'm writing it down now. But yeah, we should be pretty close to taking that property.
Thank you.
That's the only information I have.
No, that's great. That's a lot of information. It's more than I've gotten in like 5 years. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Went to the priority list.
There you go. Thank you,
Went to
Mr.
the priority
Bissonette.
list. That's what happened.
So for me, then I would say that the order is complied with. Entertain a motion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Motion to take up item number 9.
Second.
Second. My bad. I'm reading it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item number 9 was filed by Councilor Kevin Jordan and former Councilor Will Puello, ordered the mayor and the building department / Board of Health Law Department, please provide the city council with a status report on the demolition and resolution of the dangerous abandoned building at 27 and 29 Cabot Street and 510 South Bridge Street, parcel ID 031-01-014, owned by Next Realty Inc. with corporate president of Shaquille Ahmed Butt of 10 Patriot Parkway in Weymouth, Mass. Fencing is no longer safely enclosing the property, and it has a dangerous debris field and is an attractive nuisance for children. According to my records, there was a fire there in September of 2021 and another fire in April of 2022. It has been vacant from even before these fires. Please report if the owner is paying the vacant building fee and when this building is going to be demolished, since it seems inconceivably that it will be restored. This has gone on for too long and is a danger to residents. This was tabled back in September 27, 2023. Councilor Rivera?
I was gonna say we took this up in September last year. At the time, Sean had gone into some detail, and that I think they were in the process of moving forward or trying to get some of this done or mitigate some of it. But I think Mr. Rivers can maybe give us an update. It's the only reason why it was tabled, so that they can come back and talk about it again later.
All right, so at that time, we saw ARPA funds, it went out to bid. The immediate unsafe structure portion was demolished, and then a lien was placed on the property. Since that order was filed, the immediate hazards were addressed. The owner is still the same, it's Next Realty. However, the corporation has recently transferred, and a new property owner has named Manny Perez has recently reached out to the city to begin conversations on a rehab. These conversations are in their infancy, and the city plans on still moving forward with enforcement and legal remedies on this parcel. They have not paid the vacant building fees, but like I said, that was the defunct Next Realty, and now that corporation is transferred. So I don't know if this new property owner, we're going to get more of a response, but hopefully it seemed like he was looking, he met with, I believe, the planning department on some infancy sketches or of some sort. I can't speak for them, but either way, we want that rehab plan from them. And now that we have a new address and a new person to reach out to, it will be, we'll be able to get more traction on this. And like I said, we're still going to move forward with the enforcement. The Mass DEP asked us for an area for cameras. This was an area, the city owns a few parcels back there. And this tends to be an illegal dumping spot. I believe this was actually the recent illegal dumping spot. So hopefully we'll have more surveillance on the area as well. Like I said, we're going to continue enforcement. We're going to reach out to this property owner. This is very fresh, getting his name, and I just referred this to the law department.
Any other discussions?
Yeah.
Attorney Bissonnette?
Hello again, everybody. This has been a thorn in our side since the fall 21 fire. It was vacant then. Right before the fire, Next Realty had filed bankruptcy. They owned far too many properties for them to properly manage. They filed bankruptcy and then found they couldn't get, the trustee appointed couldn't get half of those properties insured, including the one that burnt. So it's interesting to see Next Realty trying to move the remaining properties. There is a possibility of rehab structurally, but it may be financially a bridge too far, especially with the amount of the environmental lien that the city has placed on for all the asbestos cleanup and the original fire cleanup. I would tell you, and we've advanced this discussion with the mayor, that property, along with 3 other parcels on the extended South Summer Street to the left, adjoin a city roadway and our building parcels, as is the vacant parcel immediately behind this fire damaged building. So there's been some interest in developing a neighborhood strategy similar to South Holyoke, to bring South Holyoke to that side of the street, between that side of the street and the tracks, right up next to the grocery store. Some of that's in play under the idea of this building eventually being demolished. But as you heard Mr. Rivers say, there may be a new player in the game, and we'll have to see what that property right is. But know that the city's interests are already protected in terms of what we've expended so far as a municipality.
Thank you, Attorney Bissonnette. Councilor Ocasio?
Is Mr. Manny Perez, is he local?
I have I can't remember where he's from. I do have his card on file here. Let me just look real quick. He is Hyde Park, Mass.
Okay, no, the reason for why I'm asking is because I see a lot of activity back there, behind the building. There's a few cars that go around circles, speeding back there, like going around circles. I don't know what they're doing, but then it's from there, they're shooting right into the middle of the road. So I'm very concerned about that property. That property been an eyesore forever, and they try to fix it, then they stop. So I don't know what's happening. I think that they should just knock it down because they ain't doing really nothing with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussions?
Motion that the order is complied with.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. And then we do have quite a few items laid on the table. And although the discussion is not expected by Councilor Devine.
Go ahead. You wanted to take up some of them?
Yeah, well, first I was wondering, this being the first time I've done that part of it, either to Attorney Bissonnette or to Jeffrey, are we allowed to take these up? And I'm not going to take them all up. I've just gone through some of them that are like 2 years old. So certainly if the committee agrees, we should probably give it leave to withdraw. And if other people want to refile certain things, they can do that. But are we allowed to talk about that tonight?
I would say they are on the agenda.
Okay, I thought so. I just want to,
The public has been notified
okay,
that these exist, and while discussion is not expected, the statement that they are laid on the table and on the agenda means a motion to take off the table would lie at any time after your regular agenda is over. So
okay.
if you want to take up several for the purposes of packaging them for a leave to withdraw, that would procedurally be fine.
Okay, so I'd make a motion that we take up some of the items that were laid on the table. Is that correct?
But yes, if you can
Okay.
designate which ones.
All right. Should I do that, designate it now, or go through them?
Now, if you can package them all
Okay,
into
well,
one order.
well, that's a problem. A couple of these need explanation. So,
You can do that under the discussion.
okay,
Through the chair
Okay.
through the chair to Councilor Devine. So what I would say is, so I'll entertain a motion to take up items 10 through,
let's see what,
or take
There's
off
a
the
lot.
table items 10 through
29,
29 with the idea that we probably won't cover all of them.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion to take up item 10, I really didn't look at that because I looked at the counselors who filed that, Counselors Jordan and Vacan, so they may want to just leave it there and do something. That's why I didn't really do much with that one.
Through the chair, real quick, to Councilor. To Councilor. To the chair. Can we take a second to go through them and
Sure.
then see which ones align,
Okay.
and then if there's any for leave to withdraw, then we do that.
Okay,
And then if there's others like item 10, for example, I wouldn't want to leave to withdraw that because the police chief is not
Yeah, I
here.
wasn't gonna- I
Yeah,
wasn't-
no, I know. Just that, for example, just leave it there, and then we work with that. So I would say a couple, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes to go through them and
Yeah,
see which
okay.
ones line up. Is
All
that
right.
okay?
That's fine.
yeah. So do you want to just do that, go through? Item 10, are we going to just leave it in committee?
Yes, I mean we could do that one, but I would say after that, let's real quick go through them ourselves,
Okay.
and then name which ones that we want to do. So I'll entertain the motion for item 10 to be continue to be tabled.
Yep, second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Item 11, I think we can take that up, send it to the Cannabis Commission as a suggestion, and our state rep and state senator, if you want to read that.
So
Because we can't tell them, we can't, it says create a regulation. We're asking the commission to create that regulation. So I was just going to send it to them as a suggestion with a copy to our state rep and senator.
through the chair, I think that for me, as much as I agree with that one, Councilor Devine, I would probably leave to withdraw this one.
Okay,
Mostly because the Cannabis Commission is going to create their own regulations, and they kind of already have these. The
I'll
products,
second.
yeah, the products are already there.
Okay, I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So number 12 is leave to withdraw.
And item 12 would be the same
No.
case.
Well, number 11 was.
11 lead to it.
So
11, or 12, leave to withdraw. Counselor Givner is here. I don't know if she wants to talk about item 13. That's also 2 years old. Item 4,
I'm not in front of a computer, but if you read it, I could
Real-
maybe
real-
comment on it.
Real quick though, through the chair, for item 12, if we're gonna leave to withdraw, motion to leave to withdraw.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then motion
Take up item 13.
take item 13 off, even though we don't have to necessarily motion because we motion to take them all off. Just
Okay.
Okay,
item
true.
13.
All right. Order that, this order was by Counselor Givner. Order that the city of Holyoke adheres poorly or unplowed alleyways residents on the block of 192 Walnut Street have been paying to have been paying to
Have their,
heavily plowed, yeah, okay.
yeah.
Why are these not being plowed by the city if they are used by the DPW for refuse pickup and access for fire, utilities, and police? Councilor Givner?
So that was from constituents who were mentioning that, like the order says, not so clearly, that they've been paying to have the drive those areas plowed, but I thought they raised a good point that if that's where their trash pickup is, then why isn't the DPW plowing these areas since they need to access the alleyways anyway? And not to mention that the alleyways are considered emergency access to the back building. So I thought they were good questions raised by the residents in that area. So that's why I filed the order.
So through the chair, Councilor Givner, would you like for this item to continue to be tabled and we can bring in DPW to kind of answer those questions on the next meeting?
Maybe we can just send it to the DPW and get a reply back for that September meeting?
Or we could do that, either one. You okay with that, Councilor Givner? You're no longer there. Okay, so let's entertain the motion of sending it to DPW
And,
with a expectation of a reporting back for the September,
or was it August?
August
for the August 14th
August
meeting.
14th.
Second.
The next item, 14, that's also 2 years old, and I would make a motion to give that leave to withdraw, and they can refile it if they'd like. If that's the will of the committee.
I actually was reading this one earlier, and I like this one too. But you know what? I can have a conversation with Kevin and Dave and ask what the intentions is here, so that way we can refile it.
Yeah. I believe Councilor Jordan did this when he was a water commissioner, and if you looked at your water bill, you'd see a little, I don't know how much it is, but that's what he wants to do
For
for
sewer.
the,
Would you-
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, and through the chair again, I think the intention here is there is no protection for a homeowner
Right.
if your sewage valve blows up in
Yeah.
front of your house
Yeah.
or something like that, and you would have to come out of pocket to pay that, and it's a significant fee. So that's why I feel like it's an interesting discussion to I know it's another tax, but it's an insurance that if your sewage pipe breaks in front of your house, you no longer are kind of on the hook for it.
Yeah, you're right. So maybe we could have a motion to table this until the 14th of August.
That would
and have
work.
Councilors Jordan and Bartley
Yep.
explain what they
That would
want to
work.
do.
And maybe invite the sewer people in too.
Sure.
Sewer commission.
Oh, the water commissioners, or the
I think
sewer
this-
commission?
Yeah, I think it's the sewer commission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I second that motion.
All
All
in,
those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Okay, then, item 15 is again 2 years old. I don't know if that's Ward 3 or Ward 5, but
That should be probably 7 because McGee was counselor set for 7, but it could be a different ward too as well. But I would entertain a motion for leave to withdraw.
second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Item 16, the same path, leave to withdraw,
Second.
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Item 17,
Second.
make a motion that,
We don't have a city engineer yet.
right. So,
I entertain a motion to keep it tabled until we
yeah,
have a city.
maybe till that August 14th.
Okay.
Are we killing your August
That's
14th
fine.
meeting? Okay. Item 18, the same course of action. Motion to give that leave to withdraw.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 19, I have no idea about any petition or who filed it or,
I would say I entertain a motion to keep it tabled. That goes in line with some of the landlord registry stuff
Okay.
through neighbor to neighbor. They're kind of doing some of that work on the side.
Okay.
So I entertain a motion to keep it tabled for now.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 20, I think that's going to go with some of the other ones that we already did
Yes.
with the Board of Health. I just don't know the numbers off the top of my head.
No, you're correct.
But I think it's, let's see which,
Entertain a motion to for it to be left
with
leave,
item 6 and 7.
leave for withdrawal for now.
Oh, you want that leave to, okay. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't know if Counselor McGrath Smith is still on, because she lives on this street, so I would table that until we spoke with her why they want to close off, I think it's Wyckoff Avenue, from Northampton Street. I don't really get that language.
No, she's no longer here, so maybe I would probably entertain a motion to leave to withdraw,
Withdraw. Second.
and then have if Meg wants to
Yeah,
refile it.
Refile it,
Yeah.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Item 22, I think the mayor's already doing this about developing a plan to clean up the city. He's certainly getting some good press out there to do that. So I'd give it leave to withdraw based on that,
Maybe complied with.
or complied with, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah. I entertain a motion, or I second that motion that is complied with.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 23 would be it's almost 2 years old to refile it.
I entertain a motion for it to leave to withdraw.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 24, we don't have a city
City
engineer.
engineer.
And I really thought, unless my memory is escaping me, that Counselor Bartley had already filed an order to make that left-hand turn into Kmart Plaza legitimate and to correct it so that people could take a left. But it's 2 years old, so if he
Mayor?
wants to, yeah?
I can confirm the ordinance committee did adopt changing that at least a year, probably a couple of years ago.
I thought so. Okay.
The sign is still up telling people they can't make a left, but the ordinance got changed.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to give it leave to withdraw?
No, complied with.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Complied with. And second,
All
Second.
those in,
under discussion real quick. Jeff, I know you're there, but I know the sign's not down yet, but the islands for the entrance to get in, if you're taking the left, it's not designed
Right.
for someone to take a left yet either. Do we know if that's going to happen, or do we have to file an order to figure that out, or reach out? to
I
them?
would probably think you'd need another order to make that happen, because I'm not sure that the previous order instructed them
Covered
to
that.
do that along with changing the ordinance.
All right then, because when you take a left turn in there, the way it's shaped
Yeah.
is not shaped for you to be able to take the left turn into there. It's actually a hazard. But I'll file an order to DPW to figure that out.
Can I just cut in real quick?
Yep.
No.
No,
Item 22, I actually reached out to Counselor Jordan a couple of months back to see to ask if he was good with that being complied with concerning the work of the Flex Squad. And he was actually looking for some follow-up on that.
Well, I think complied with is followed up.
I
Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. I think that if he wants some follow up, I think it would make sense for him to either, and no disrespect, to probably file another order or reach out to the mayor's office around some of this stuff. I'm with it, but this we got to get past this and file it again, I guess. Thank you though, Jeff, for bringing that up and being on point.
One other question, I missed the motion on item 23.
Leave to withdraw.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. We're on
And 24 is complied with.
Second?
All in favor? Oh, no, you say all in favor. My bad.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
25.
Item 25 is 2 years old.
So I would probably motion for it to leave to withdraw, and hopefully it gets refiled again.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm not sure what to do with 26.
I think, and through the chair, item 26, order that SUAS and the Holyoke Housing Authority meet with Public Safety Committee to discuss how to fix the flood issues. I believe we've met on this a couple times, and I think that SUAS, in collaboration with Holyoke Housing Authority, came up with a solution to this. I think this could be complied with, but Jeff, could you clarify if you remember around this? This is around the flooding in the basements in Bowdoin Village.
Yeah, I remember that when that was taken up and there was going to be follow-up to find out what they were going to do to solve the issue. Obviously, it's been a couple of years. I did ask Counselor Anderson Burgos if he had a chance to follow up with them, and I hadn't. I'm not sure if that was able to take place.
So then I'll entertain a motion to table for August 14th and bring in Holyoke Housing Authority and SUAS to give an update on this. And I think Holyoke Housing Authority has one, so that they probably would have no issue with that.
Or maybe by then he has a chance to check in with the resident.
Or
to
that
see if
too.
it-
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 27 is the blinking flashing lights to alert residents. I'm pretty sure, I mean, this is 2 years old, of course, but I think the city does have
No.
one of these blinking lights that they can move around, but again, are you going to move it every time there's a parking ban? Are you going to move it to a different location? I don't know if it's a feasible thing to do, although it's not a bad order.
So, through the chair, for this one, is particularly when there's an ambulance or a police or a fire truck that's going through lights. I've seen it in Chicopee. They have it in Chicopee. The lights all start flashing when they hear the biembos
Yeah.
in Spanish. I don't know how you say them. The lights in English and the sounds.
Yeah.
It triggers all the lights to start blinking to let all the cars know that they're coming. Right. Okay. This is an order that actually is kind of cool too as well. Regardless of who filed it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think I am in favor with keeping this on the table and trying to bring in the alarm division to have a conversation on this.
14th?
If that's cool, yeah.
Yep.
So a motion to table this item for the August 14th meeting to hopefully bring in the alarm division and DPW superintendent to have a conversation on the potential of doing this.
Would this work with item 28 as well, to combine those?
It might make sense to do that and see if we could somehow put them together. So entertain a motion.
Givner still here?
Yes.
Okay, maybe you
Yes.
could read that for her.
Go ahead, Jen.
Item number 28, filed by Councilor Givner, that the city of Holyoke install storm warning lights, much like those in neighboring communities. These would act to signal coming snow and other inclement weather storms, prompting residents to check our city website as well as their preferred news sources. Storm warning lights would also act as parking ban notification in an effort to assist our overextended parking police department. Councilor Givner?
I'm sorry, I lost you for a second there, right when you were reading the order. Would you mind repeating it?
Storm warning lights. You filed an order for storm.
Oh, yes, I did. Thank you. I'm trying to do too much at the same time. So the storm warning lights I thought were a good idea. They were also requested around the same time as the alley plowing request, and it was all during the winter. So I thought they would be a good idea. I wasn't sure if that's something we can do or that was already in the works in Holyoke, but I think it could be a really, it could be nice to have something like that. But considering that our emergency phone system has been updating people, I think as a city we've gotten a lot better about warning people about the parking ban. So I'm not sure if it's necessary anymore, but I still think it's a good idea if it's something we could implement.
Through the chair, Coco or Councilor Givner, do you think it would be all right for us to package it with the prior order, which is the prior order that was filed was around trying to get lights to alert drivers around when there's emergency vehicles driving down the street, and if it's potential,
Oh, yeah.
like if there's potential to kind of connect the both.
Right, so that we're not doing the same work twice, but the
Right.
same system could be used for both.
Right.
I think that'd be great.
Right. All right. So then I entertain a motion to couple item 28 with item 27.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Then
The last item, 29. I'm not sure what you like to do with that. My suggestion was to maybe do that August 14th meeting with the Parks and Rec and the Office of Planning and Economic Development to see
makes
if there's something that they can do,
that makes sense.
especially the master plan.
And through the chair, I think for me when I'm referencing master plan, it's mostly specifically to Pulaski Park, and the reason why I say that is because there's so much potential to Pulaski Park, just like there is to Springdale, just like there is to Jones Point, just like there is to a variety of other ones. And Pulaski Park, there's the weight training
Well, that's right.
space that they have. They have the little sprinkler pad, which is kind of needs to be updated. They also have the park that's there that needs to be updated. The skate park itself could use some love and maybe an addition. So to me, it's like and this is all nice to have. We're talking about nice to haves, but you can't have it if you don't plan for it, right? So to me, it's like maybe bringing them in to have a conversation about what is the plan, and is there a plan, or can we develop something? That's where that lied with me. If you want to continue to have it on the table, Councilor Rivera, we can. If you want to leave to withdraw, it's technically your ward.
I say we table it to August 14th because I do remember a resident giving me a call regarding putting a fence around the skate park.
Well,
And I did contact DPW, and I believe it was in the works, but I'm not sure. I haven't heard back.
okay. So then, motion to table it to the August 14th meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Have a
Thank
good
you.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Good night.